Hi Robert, this is Jeff Bradshaw, and I'm going to go ahead and show you all the controls in the cab of the 1949 American LaFrance that you just purchased. I'm going to go ahead and start on the floor, and then we'll work our way from left to right across the control panel. So we'll start out on the floor, obviously, with the throttle, brake, and clutch. There's a series of two buttons that are here, the one on the left and right. Both the left and over here, clear on the right side, is the same button that would be for the officer. That's for use of the siren. So by depressing that button, then that actuates the siren, which is located outside on the left front fender of the truck. The one right next to it is the high beam. When the high beam is pushed, up here on the instrument panel is the light above the ignition switch. That will turn blue to let you know that the truck is in high beam when the headlights are on. And then over here, obviously, this would be the parking brake. That's simply depressing this button on the top, pulling it up when you're going to be using the brake. The brake on this truck is used on the drive shaft. It actually has a rotor disc and a set of abrasive pads that clamp shut on the disc, which work really well. Over here on the left is a button. I don't know what this one is. I've never used it, and I've tried it and it doesn't actuate anything. The one underneath it is for the wipers. It's a 2-speed wiper. It's the only electric motor on the whole truck. Over here next to it is the ignition switch. On the switch itself it says rear and front. What that indicates is the distributor system, which the batteries supply power to. So you can put it on the rear distributor, the front distributor, or all. I would run it in all the time. What that does is that allows all the spark plugs, both sets of 12, to be run all the time. When this switch is on, the light down here will indicate red, that the ignition is on. So that's over here. Right up above this truck at some point had an add-on turn signal system, and it's simply a left and right. It doesn't have a push-pull for emergencies like some of these older units do, but this works just fine. There's 2 amber lights in the front and 2 amber lights that were added in the back. Okay, over here next to it, this is the PTO for the hydraulic pump for the ladder. When the ladder is going to be used from the dash, what you would do is you would depress the clutch to put the truck in neutral, make sure that the shift lever is in neutral, and you would pull this. It goes about that far only, and then you would slowly let out the clutch, and that will engage the hydraulic pump for the ladder's use. Prior to doing that, up here on the top is a parking brake indicator here, which is hydraulic. So to release the ladder lock, there's a hydraulic lock on the ladder itself towards the rear. You would turn this, and the brake pedal will depress automatically, having all 4 brakes go on, and reducing or removing the ladder lock on the back. So that's the 2 ladder controls. Then moving along the dash, we have a throttle. In using the ladder, I always throttle it up just a little bit, just to give the pump a little more help in terms of RPM. And that works just fine. Then you have their parking and tail lights. Next to that you have headlights, so you always want to pull these when you're driving in the dark. Next to that is the siren light. That actuates both the Mars light that's at the top of the windshield, as well as the red light on the siren, and there's 2 red blinking lights on the front. Then followed by the pump panel. So these are 2 lights over that illuminate the pump panel at night. And then there's a couple lights in the engine compartment that light up the engine. So that takes care of everything that's on the pump panel here. As I indicated, the fuel gauge sometimes it hasn't been working properly. I've got a fuel gauge that I'm going to be giving you, but everything else in here works just fine. Both the oil, amps, and temperature gauges work just fine. And then moving down here into the bottom portion of the seat itself, there are a couple levers that I'd just like to bring to your attention. One is a reverse lever lockout. So based on the starting pattern or the shifting pattern that you can see, it's a standard 1, 2 over back, 3 forward, 4, and then all the way over and back is reverse. Once you're finished with reverse, I highly recommend using the ladder lock, which is this simple latch right here. By pushing this down, that locks this, so as you're shifting between third and fourth, it automatically will keep you from trying to put the truck into reverse. So after you're done reversing, be sure to go ahead and put this lock in the down position, and there's an arrow here that indicates where lock is. Also over here, I've never used this, but this is the actuator for the pump. So just like the hydraulic lever for the ladder and the hydraulic pump, this would be the same thing for using the water pump, to where you would depress the clutch, you would pull this lever up, and then you would let the clutch out, and that would engage the pump. Hopefully you'll get to the point where you'll be able to use that and have some fun with using the water pump. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and reposition up to the ladder tower, and I'll show you the controls that use the ladder.